salam. The one who's riding say salam to the one who's walking. So if you're pulling out and you want to drive out in your car, and you're driving out slowly, and when you're driving on the turnpike, you cannot say Assalamu alaikum, but you're driving slowly out of a parking lot or something, and you see a brother there, you roll the window, if the window is down, whatever, you're the one who should start with the salam. Okay? From the adab, you start. The one who's riding starts the one who's walking. The one who's walking starts the salam on the one who's sitting. So you're walking, and now I'm walking out, and you're all sitting there, Assalamu alaikum, and leave. Okay? So the one who's walking should be the one who's starting the salam on the person who's sitting. Also, the few say salam to the many. And if you're walking and then you come across 3-4 people, you say Assalamu alaikum. It's easier for you to say salam than them saying salam. Okay? So the little will say to the few will say to the many, and also the young will say it to the old. The younger should say it to the older. Also, عدم السلام على غير المحارم باليد. Now when it comes to saying salam between men and women, it's permissible to say Assalamu alaikum lafzan, just with the words. But also, it's very important to pay attention to the tone. Some women might start softening her voice and all that. Be normal, natural. Wa alaikum salam, and that's it. That's the end of it. That is if it's needed to say Assalamu alaikum. That's all. But some people will go to the next step and try to shake hands, and that is haram. That is forbidden, to shake hands with women who are not from your maharim. You're not allowed to shake hands with other than your wife, your daughters, your nieces, your mothers, your grandmothers, your aunts. Very much everything else is haram. Your cousins is haram. Okay? Anyone you can marry is haram to shake hands with, beside the strange woman out there. So it's very important that we understand this point, because the Prophet ﷺ has warned of it. Also, it's recommended that you say salam to kids. You're a big guy and you're macho. That doesn't mean you don't say salam to the kids. The Prophet ﷺ used to say salam alaikum to the kids and to the Sibyan when he meets them on the street. That will bring happiness in their heart. That will make them feel like small men, give them confidence. So Umar used to come to the kid and tell him, make dua for me, Umar, that the shaitan runs away from him. Okay? Why? Because these kids are innocent, pure, still did not reach that age where they're accountable, so they're clean. So their dua will be answered. But the point is, say Assalamu alaikum to the kids. Make them feel confident, and you respecting them. That will make them happy, and that will affect their upcoming. Also, it's very important that we pay attention to the older. When we come to a majlis and we see older people, it's better that we start, the order you start with is from the right. Your right, okay? Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. But sometimes it's okay to start with the older. Okay? To start with the older, especially if you know that the other people will not mind. The Prophet sallallahu, and this is with everything. You usually start with the right. You have food and then you want to feed the people with you. First you give it to the people on your right, and then it moves on. And if you see when we have circles of Quran, usually it goes from the right to the. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was saying, as Ibn Abbas said, he was sitting in a gathering, and there was a young man to his right, and Ibn Abbas said, وَأَشْيَاخٌ مِّن قُرَيْشٍ عَلَى يَسَارِهِ, and from the older, from the big people on his left. So the young man on the right of the Prophet ﷺ, and Ibn Abbas said Abu Bakr and Umar, okay, sitting on his left ﷺ. And they bring him a cup full of milk. So the Prophet ﷺ drinks from it. Then he looks at the young man and he said, will you be alright if I start with the older people, يعني? And he's asking for permission, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. That is the Prophet, يعني, the leader of the Ummah, doesn't need to ask. يعني, what's left, يعني, is it okay that I give it to them? Because most probably he won't get anything if they drink from it too. And this is drinking after the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, يعني, this is a blessing. So that the young man said, Ya Rasulullah, yani, this is my right, and I will not put anyone before me to drink after you. Yani, I'm sorry, but this is, yani, this is left over after you. So I'm not. This is yani, an opportunity. I'm not going to let it go or pass. So the Prophet ﷺ gave him that. Okay, لا أوثر بفضلتك على أحد. So it's very important that it's okay. As you see, the Prophet ﷺ wanted to give the older before the young man, but look, out of the adab and the manners of the Prophet ﷺ, and the sensitivity of the Prophet ﷺ, he asked this young kid for the permission. Also, it's from the sunnah that not only when you walk in you say Assalamu alaikum, also when you're leaving. Yani imagine if we are a group of people sitting and someone comes in, Assalamu alaikum, and he sits with us for a few minutes. Then suddenly he gets up and he walks away. What are we going to think? We're going to think maybe we said something wrong, maybe he got upset, maybe he did not like what we said, maybe he feels he's better than us, or whatever, he made a mistake by sitting with us. All these. So there is no difference between saying Assalamu alaikum when you come in than saying Assalamu alaikum when you're leaving. Mal'ula bi'awla min al-akhirah, as the Prophet ﷺ said. There is no difference. Yani the one when you're coming in, the greeting when you're coming in is not any better than the one, or important than the one when you're leaving. Okay? So you come in, Assalamu alaikum. You leave, you also say Assalamu alaikum. Also, some people yani, think that after Salah we have to say Assalamu alaikum to each other. We have to say Assalamu alaikum to each other. Yani after Salah you see that. Rahmatullah, barakatuh. When it's yani, you say, some people sit together, and after the Salah, the Fariḍah, he turns around, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. That is not from the deen of Allah. If you do it, some people do it thinking that it's part of the Salah. Yani the Salah is not sealed yet until he makes this taslim. And that is wrong. Okay? And that is wrong. The seal of the Salah, Assalamu alaikum, as the Prophet ﷺ, that is Assalamu alaikum. Not Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, yani when you turn your head to the right. And the first one is rukun and the other is sunnah. So but some people think sometimes it's okay to do it to create yani mawadda and love between you and your brothers. Okay? But don't make it as a habit. Don't make it as a habit. Yani once in a, as they say, once in a blue moon is okay. But don't make it after every salah that you have to do it. Then it becomes bid'ah. Okay? And be aware of that. Because that is how the bid'ah start. They start with good intention and then they become a habit. I have to do it every salah. If he doesn't do it, he doesn't think his salah is over. Okay? So very important we don't fall into that. You get up and you start walking away and then you say Assalamu alaikum. Yani there is no need to do it right after the salah. What are the benefits of Salam? There are a lot of benefits from saying Assalamu alaikum and replying wa alaikum salam, or the way that we had mentioned. First, nashr tahiyyat al-salam. Okay? And the tahiyyat al-Islam. First, you are spreading the word of peace. And you are spreading the greeting of Islam. Okay? When you teach people, especially new Muslims who don't know about these things, Assalamu alaikum. Some people might ask, non-Muslims, what do you guys say? Assalamu alaikum. What does it mean? Peace be upon you. Cool. Maybe it starts with cool. And then when he starts thinking, look what we say, good morning and hi and how are, what's the point? Good, hi. What does hi mean? You know? We are so stingy that we kept it 2 letters, hi. Okay? So when he said, peace be upon you, then when you come tell them, but this is also the greeting of Isa alayhi salam. That's how Jesus, Isa alayhi salam, used to greet his companions and disciples. Peace be upon you. This is the greeting of the people of paradise. Okay? So, but that's a way to spread the word of the deen. Also, it's a reason to spread the love and the mawadda and the connection and the kindness amongst the hearts of the believers.